Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for another partner spotlight at XenTegra. Going to give everyone just a few minutes to get into the room, and then we will get started. Hope everyone is enjoying this spring weather that we're having, sort of early. Hopefully it will last. I know where I'm at, all of the trees are in full bloom and the pollen is also out. So my cars are completely covered right now. How are things where you're at, Eric?
It's still a little bit cold. I'm in St. George, Utah, so it's kind of it should be warmer right now, but I actually had to clear some of the frost off my window this morning, which was a bummer. I haven't had to do that in a while. So I don't know if we're going cold, but I'm sure it'll warm up soon enough.
Hi, Seagull. We see the message there in chat. So thanks everybody for hopping in this afternoon. We're going to give everybody just a couple of minutes to get into the room, and then we'll kick off here. I saw that we've got folks again this week joining us from all around the world. Eric, we've got some folks in India, we've got some folks in Europe. So that's kind of fun for us to be able to have an international audience.
Yeah,
Alan, I am based in Charlotte. Sorry, Eric, didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh no, I was just saying that's exciting to have a diverse group of people from different places here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, as our footprint continues to expand, we're definitely seeing more and more of the international audience joining in with us. So if you are joining us from across the world, welcome. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off and we'll get started here. Each week we do a partner spotlight featuring one of our strategic partners that we work closely with here at XenTegra. And one of the things that makes us a little different is all of these partners are folks that we've had success in the market with. They are people we know and trust. And so it's exciting for us to get to share our partners and their technology with you. So as we get started this afternoon, want to tell you about a XenTegra giveaway. We're coming up on it in just a couple of months, but we're giving away not one, but two Ford Broncos. And it's part of our Work Has No Boundaries giveaway. You can find all of that information for registering, how to get qualified at workhasnoboundaries.com. And Chase has also just popped it here into the webinar chat. So you should go check that out. Once again, we're not giving away one, we're giving away two Ford Broncos. And I can tell you, because a friend of mine actually won last year's before I joined XenTegra, it is a real thing. So no gimmicks here, it's the real deal. Today with our webinar, we're also giving away something. We're giving away a $100 Amazon gift card. So for joining today, you have qualified yourself for that giveaway. We will reach out and notify the lucky winner after today's webinar. But once again, our way of saying thanks for being here with us today. So who is XenTegra? We are a IT reseller. We focus and have focused in the end user compute and digital workspaces area since our inception. But as our customers have grown and asked us to do more, we've grown and now cover about 80 different technologies and partners in the IT space. We're lucky to have one of those partners with us today, Cameyo. And we'll hear more from them here in just a few minutes. But in addition to all of our partners and technologies that we represent, we're also a service provider. We do professional services and implementations. We also have a managed services group. And so we can take on services and outsourcing for you as well. And most of all, what makes us different than some of our competitors is it's not just about any one partner or product. It's about meeting your needs and creating solutions that will meet your requirements and help you succeed as a business. So we like to think of ourselves as a solution provider. That's what makes us tick, and that's what we try to do. So if you need help in the digital workspaces area, it's probably not going to be just one provider, but it'll probably be some mix of multiple of our different partners. A little bit about us, we started a decade ago and we're now an international IT solutions provider. Our business model is pretty simple. We lead with education. We lead with creating community through events and through opportunities to network. And then once we've created that community, we try to serve it and we try to help you succeed with your business goals. We do that in a number of different ways. As I mentioned, we do offer hardware and software as a reseller. We do strategic consulting engagements. We have our managed services practice. And for customers who haven't worked with us before or may need a assessment, we do offer complimentary assessments for our strategic partners. So partner technologies like Citrix, VMware, Nutanix, ServiceNow, Agile. We have free engagements that you can try working with us, and it's no obligation, no cost to you. And they're great ways to get to know us as a company. And if you'd like some more information about those complimentary assessments, you can reach out to me or to your account manager at XenTegra, and be glad to get you connected. A little bit about me, who's talking at you today. My name is Phil Sellers. I am a solutions architect here with the company. I live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Like to think of myself as a software-defined problem solver. Womp womp. I've spent most of my career focused on infrastructure, the data center, the cloud. I've been in it way too long at this point. But prior to coming to XenTegra a few months ago, I've always been on the customer side, running teams and being hands-on with the technology. In my free time, I also dabbled as a blogger, podcaster, had the chance to write a book once. So I like giving back and I like helping other people learn. And then that works out well because that's a big part of what I get to do here at XenTegra, leading webinars and workshops and boot camps like the one you're in today. So without further ado, I want to introduce our partner, Cameyo, and Eric Johnson, who is an account manager there with Cameyo. And today he's going to be sharing how their technology can help you in a very simplified way deliver virtual apps. And I'm excited to have Eric with us.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to be here, Philip. And I like the accolades on your slide there. It's pretty exciting. Plus the background looks very appropriate. I'm feeling a little bit shy about mine now, so I'll have to add something cool in the background next time we do a webinar together. But no, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And just to kind of speak to the expertise of XenTegra, I've been with Cameyo for just a very short time. I've been in the industry for a while and had the opportunity to work with you guys for many years now, and just appreciated that commitment to deep understanding of customer environments in the EUC space. And I've watched you guys step into a lot of different high-level opportunities with complex environments and really provide incredible solutions and a deep level of knowledge of end user compute. So can speak to you guys from working for multiple ISVs. You guys are awesome, and we're so happy to be on the call with you today and value you guys as a partner. So yeah, with Cameyo, I guess what I'd like to do is just take you guys through a few slides. We'll keep it pretty light because honestly, Cameyo is a very elegant and simple virtual application delivery solution. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. We'll run through some slides, and yeah, like Philip said, I'm an account executive here. So I'm happy to field your questions and work with you if there are opportunities that come up. Let me get my screen shared here. Oh, Philip, I'm going to need you to stop your screen share.
Let me do that.
There we go.
Hand over the controls to you. And so while he's getting things shared out, I will say, if you've got any questions, drop them in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll make sure that they get answered today.
Okay. Will you just let me know if it's displaying my slide deck?
Looking good, Eric.
All right, perfect. Okay. So like I said before, essentially what we do at Cameyo is called virtual application delivery. So really with Cameyo, what we're focused on is giving you a simple, secure, and cost-effective way to deliver all of your applications from a browser. So doing that, we make it so your users and people that are working for you are able to be productive from anywhere on essentially any device. With Cameyo, users are able to actually access Windows legacy applications, SaaS apps, internal web apps from the organization, all from a secure digital workspace. And this workspace is actually API based, and it integrates with your organization's SSO. So literally when a user signs in with their corporate credentials, they're also signing into that secure digital workspace. So it's really cool, really simple and elegant, like I said. And that's Cameyo sort of in a nutshell. I want to go through a few different slides with you, like I said, and tell you a little bit more about the solution. But I think to contextualize Cameyo effectively, what we should do is just a quick evolution of the virtual desktop. And so that's what I want to take you through real quick. So since the inception of VDI, I mean, it's a really exciting technology. I'm guessing that most of the people on this call today have some kind of VDI infrastructure. And so, it's really cool with VDI to have that exciting innovation to be able to present Windows desktops to users. And before that came along, that was incredibly challenging. Once it was there, it's pretty cool to have that experience to be able to present those desktops, but you don't necessarily get that cloud native experience that now we've come to sort of expect. And having that VDI infrastructure managed on premises, it's typically complex, requires VPNs, which we all know now today have become massive attack vectors, and a lot of challenges are associated with that kind of infrastructure when we start shifting things forward into like desktops as a service. That's exciting to give like a more cloud native delivery. And that's a great innovation as well. But we know that most of those DaaS solutions are actually delivered from the vendor's cloud environment. And so you still got that native cloud experience, which is really cool, but there's still a lot of complexity. And in turn, because that's being hosted there, there's a lot of cost associated with kind of a DaaS provider. So we start to evolve, and then where we see Cameyo coming in, we think of ourselves as sort of a next generation virtualization solution. So unlike VDI and unlike the DaaS products, Cameyo is incredibly simple, secure, we're cost effective, and we're flexible with the devices that you're coming to the table with. So I kind of covered these. These are really the pillars that we want to focus on. As far as simplicity goes, you really can set up Cameyo with like little to no IT experience necessary. As I mentioned, I've been in the industry for a little while, but I worked for a few different organizations. I actually left end user compute and went over to customer success and kind of was selling into call centers and things. And then I came back to Cameyo when an opportunity presented itself. And when they shared a demo with me just during my interview process, they gave me an instance and they're like, here, play around with this. And I started setting up apps and pushing them out to just my different Google accounts. And I was like, man, this is too easy. What am I not getting here? There's got to be something a little more complex. And it was an amazing experience. In fact, we even recently with the XenTegra Gov team, we actually had an opportunity where we hopped on a call, and it ended up being with the science teacher of a school who was just browsing around because she has been asked to expose some of the students to like a free CAD program, like an AutoCAD program, but free. And she wanted to find a way to do that, and Cameyo came up. And so we went in with the XenTegra Gov team and just started talking to this teacher, and kind of like, at first I was a little hesitant because I was like, oh, we should probably talk to your IT person. And she's like, well, I could probably convey that information over to him. So we just decided to keep the conversation going. And it was really fun to show her the platform and just see that she was getting it. She was absolutely getting it, felt super confident in how our solution would work for them. And so that's in flight right now, and it's going really well in a free proof of concept that we offer. And that's something that we would like to offer all of you as well, just so you know. A free proof of concept is definitely part of the Cameyo experience. So I guess what I would say with us, like obviously simple, secure. I think we're the most secure way to deliver applications to users, period. We have advanced security features like port shield and cloud tunneling that are actually going to ensure that all of your server ports are closed and that your firewall is not open to inbound traffic. I'll go over a network architecture diagram just so you can kind of see how that works. But yeah, it's a solid zero trust platform. And as a result, you don't need VPNs. Again, kind of moving forward into cost effectiveness. This is something that's really cool when we present to our customers. Cameyo is incorporating all these cool cloud native features like elasticity and usage optimization. So we have AI on the back end monitoring how those sessions go, how many resources from a CPU perspective or GPU perspective are being used. And so especially over time, the Cameyo solution becomes more and more efficient, and you can kind of access that right inside of the Cameyo interface in the admin interface. And so, yeah, it's just incredibly effective and easy to use as far as virtual application delivery goes.
Yeah, just to jump in with you there, Eric.
Yeah.
Our XenTegra Gov team is led by a gentleman named Harvey Green. I'm sure some of you may have seen him on a webinar previously. Harvey did the introduction for Cameyo with us at XenTegra, and he got the sales pitch, and they were like, "You can literally be up in 10 to 15 minutes." And Harvey's like, "Been around the block for a long time. I'm not sure that I believe you." And just true to their word, he was able to set up an environment and had applications published within 10 to 15 minutes. So just to underscore what Eric is saying here, there's a lot delivered from a cloud control plane, cloud management. This is a very cloud native, born in the cloud kind of solution. And so that lends itself to quick return on your investment, very simplistic, very easy ways of getting value out of their platform. So we've seen that on our side, and you can believe what Eric's saying just from our own experiences working with them.
Awesome. Thank you for that backup, Philip. I appreciate it. You know, it's like I said initially with my own experience evaluating Cameyo as I was getting onboarded and thinking of joining the team. You can't speak enough to the simplicity. It's like you look at VDI deployments that are typically going to take anywhere from like weeks to probably more likely months. And in Cameyo, it's like days to weeks, maybe. It's just incredibly efficient and easy to work with. So, and you'll get to see that firsthand in just a little bit as I go into a demonstration. Just a couple more slides though. I did want to hit this flexibility point just to really reiterate that, you know, we do have a fully hosted solution that's hosted in Google Cloud or Azure, but we also have the ability to self-host. So whatever platform you're coming from, what your preferences may be, as far as hosting goes, we can make it super easy for you. All you really need is a Windows Server 2016 or above. Any kind of cloud, hybrid, or on-premises environments could really be configured. So incredibly flexible for you. And again, integration into your single sign-on provider, permissions, any like backend databases and things like that. It's really an efficient and easy platform to work with. So I did want to share this just to kind of reiterate that position on VPN. So you know that in legacy VDI, there tends to be a lot of knowledge out there now. There's even been an FBI warning for ransomware attacks going across VPNs. And so I think now today we kind of accept that VPNs are something that if we can eliminate them, awesome. That's exciting from a security posture because it's preventing that attack vector. So this Citrix vulnerability, CVE 2019, I know it's something that a lot of people know about. I know Philip, your team at XenTegra covered that pretty efficiently and talked a lot about that kind of stuff. If there is any color you want to add to it, awesome. If not, we can kind of skip ahead.
Yeah, I mean, vulnerabilities are rampant at this point, and then leveraged vulnerabilities are really tough. This was one we spent quite a bit of time with customers addressing. Again, the more complex the solution, sometimes the more possibilities there are for leveraged attacks. And again, keeping your security posture as stout as possible is always kind of the goal. So this is a great alternative to opening traditional delivery methods and clients just to use HTML5.
Perfect. Yeah. And keeping that encapsulated in HTML5 really keeps us secure there. So Cameyo is really the only zero trust virtual app delivery platform that eliminates VPNs and ensures your firewall and server ports aren't protected from the open internet. So wanted to just read that verbatim. I think that's a really powerful thing about Cameyo. Now, kind of moving forward past that, I did just want to show you guys a quick architectural reference. So you kind of know, here's what we're looking at as we dig into the software when I go into a demo next. So you can see it's pretty straightforward with our secure cloud tunneling service. Essentially what's happening is, first the user is going to click on the application that they want to run. And there's a variety of different ways that they can click on that application. We make them available in a portal that I think, it looks really close to the Okta experience for those that you might be familiar with their portal page for application authentication. We're just giving you the access to the app through a portal page like that. We can share out a link that you can save on a company intranet page or just have a URL shared out that they can click. And so once that happens, once that link is clicked, it's going to go over to the Cameyo cloud service. And that service is just going to essentially look at the Cameyo Play servers that are available and let the service decide, hey, which server is the correct server for this task. So again, I mentioned before, maybe you're running like light productivity apps, maybe you're pushing Windows, Office products, Excel or something like that off to Chromebooks, and you want to be able to have that Excel experience. Those productivity apps are going to be pretty lightweight on the Cameyo Play server, whereas if you're running maybe you're an engineering firm and you've got some heavy GPU usage applications or something, maybe we have a different server set up in the background to utilize those applications effectively. So that's what the Cameyo cloud service really does. It links you to the effective server for that application that's going to be running. And then once that's signed, it's going to send that job out over the cloud tunnel via HTTPS. So it is encrypted. And those ports, again, aren't open to the internet. What's happening there is they're approaching the Cameyo Cloud Tunnel service. So it has two HTTPS endpoints. And so you can see in my architecture, there's an RDP service that's running, RDP session that's going on there. And we're again over HTTPS. And so what's really cool about this is this Cloud Tunnel service. If that is attacked with like any kind of like spam attack or anything like that, that server can actually self-implode and it will instantly redirect the user to another service that's not being attacked, that's secure, without the user even really knowing what's going on. It's just going to stay efficient. But for you, that's an awesome security feature. So, and again, you can see at the top, I don't think I hit this, but there is that SSO integration kind of step 2 after they try to reach out to that application and start using it. So just a quick architecture reference for you guys to understand a little bit more about how it works. This is where I go into the brag mode. I'll keep it humble, but I think it's humble to brag when it's your customers that are bragging about you. So when we talk about like an NPS score at 71, that's something that we're super proud of because it means that our customers are really happy to promote our product. I think we might be close to double the NPS score of our nearest competition. And so just highlighting some of the different banners that hang in our, proverbial stadium in the rafters. We've got 2022 and 2023 pretty clean sweeps of a lot of awesome categories. Best ROI. I like fastest implementation. It's kind of what Philip and I were talking about. I think that's such a cool one because it's incredibly true. Our customers tend to be really happy with the product and that makes us happy and it makes us continue to strive for, innovation that means a lot to our customers. So when we do have customers that need features and things like that, we take that very seriously and try to implement those into our roadmap. So now this demo that I was talking about is what I'd like to maybe skip over to. Before I launch into that, Philip, anything else you want to cover?
The only thing from a security perspective I would mention is no firewall ports to open from the outside in. The way everything's architected, it talks from the inside out. As long as the Cameyo Play servers can get to the internet, you're in business. So no specialized firewall rules, nothing to open up, which is super in my book.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Philip. So digging into the software, again, like we said, super easy. So just to get started, what you want is a server, right? So I can just click add. This is the Cameyo admin interface, by the way. If I click add, it's going to give me a couple options. This is our fully hosted side. You can see that you can switch between a Windows server or a Linux server. So we'd fully support Windows or Linux. So if you want to have like a secure browsing experience through Linux and cut a lot of the Microsoft licensing costs out, that's definitely something you can do with us. We do support that, and you're able to provision servers across GCP however you'd like. So spin up a server and you click create now, and it's pretty much ready to go. We say 5 minutes, but it really feels like 5 seconds. It's pretty quick. If there's a self-hosted option that you're looking to pursue, we're happy to do that as well. You can get started with your server. We have tutorials built right into the platform so that you can know how to do that. And if you do a free trial with us, we would make that really easy on you as well. So, but once those are spun up, this is kind of what it looks like. So I'll go back to my demo lab, and now move into the servers. So you can see my persistent servers and my Elastic cluster here. Let's just go into this server and I'll show you how we can get started and actually grab an app and publish it. So I go in here to the action button. I can connect as admin. I already did it just so we have it up and running and we can be pretty efficient in here, but it's pretty quick to spin up. And then from this experience, you're literally just on a Windows box, right? This is Windows Server. And so everything that you'd expect for how to install an application here is exactly what would happen. So installer files can be dragged and dropped here. You can launch a browser and go in and grab like a software, and I can show you that if you'd like to see, but it really is just that simple. You're walking through a wizard for how to install it. Once it's installed on the Windows server here, what happens next is it displays it in our publisher apps window here. So you can see these are some applications that have already been published. I grabbed one before that was just Adobe Reader, so we could be kind of efficient and fast with this. But let me just show you here back in the administrator console. So I don't have my Adobe application, as you can see here. But as soon as I come over here and I go into the publisher apps window, got this one installed, it's ready to be pushed out. So I click the box, check apply, and we should have in just a second a publish app. There we go, letting us know that it is available there. So if I refresh, we should see my Adobe app. There we go. Cool. So now we have Acrobat Reader ready to go. It really is just that easy to get an application published. So any apps that you want, like we said, internal web apps, legacy, on-prem applications that you guys are running that you need to present through a browser, incredibly easy to do that through us. And then when we go in, we have the ability to kind of decide how this experience is going to look. So this doesn't have to be the Cameyo logo, by the way. So this could be your logo for whatever your organization is. So it's a little bit more of a unified experience, but you kind of come in here and you can see it just launched Acrobat Reader. There's the details. I'm not going to go through that because they're going to want me to add some licensing in, but you get the idea. Incredibly easy to push those out. And then if I click on, any of these others, you can see, here's some things for how we would push out the application. So I mentioned at the start, there's a few different ways that you can share the application out to your users. So first, anybody that gets this link, provided they can authenticate, obviously, because we talked about that SSO integration, you're able to click on this and access that app. So that's kind of what that's going to look like. It's just going to launch Excel for me. And again, like I said, your logo here, good to go. But moving back into this, you're going to have the ability to also show that in the portal. And the portal, it really just looks like this application page, just so we're clear. For your users, they just see something like this. They wouldn't have the dashboard or servers or admin piece of it. But yeah, that's kind of how it looks. So here you can see it really is just Windows. And again, this is running off of a Windows server. So full experience here that you'd expect, save function. Here we actually even have the ability to integrate with like your OneDrive or your Google Drive too. So you have that capability kind of built in. Let me show you how that's done. If we go into company settings here, I mentioned SSO integration. There you can see some different providers and a custom setup if you want to set up some pings or things like that. And then here is that connection to your Google Drive, to your OneDrive. So you have that accessibility built right in, which I think is really cool. And the other thing about the solution is just, it's incredibly elegant to have just 4 different sections that you really need to deal with to get all of the things that you want at your fingertips when you're trying to administrate this kind of environment. So really powerful to be able to do that so quickly, share those out, and have that infrastructure set up incredibly effectively. There's a few other things we can do, like session settings that allow for persistence and things like that. But really, again, keep in mind, this is virtual application delivery. And so what we're wanting to do here is keep things simple, keep things efficient. We're not sending out an OS to the end user, right? We're just sending out the applications that they need. And the other cool thing too is any of these applications can also be presented as a PWA. So if you are running, let's say like Chromebooks or something, you can publish those out as a PWA, and you can actually force them to be installed on the taskbar. So you might be running Chrome OS, but the Windows applications can be pinned down to your taskbar here. So you can just click it and run it. And with the PWA experience, for those that aren't familiar, it's going to take away this browser feel and just look straight like the application that we're running here. So kind of undistinguishable from running the app natively on a Windows device, if that makes sense. So really cool experience there. And yeah, I think that's, for the most part, what I wanted to go into for our demo today. We can kind of dig in a little deeper and show you some different things, but I think that's probably something that I'd want to do. If anybody's interested in a demo of the software to talk about their specific use case, we could kind of move it that way. So I think now what I'd like to do is just kind of close out, and I think it's pretty clear how simple and elegant the solution is. And again, just to reiterate what you said, Philip, Cameyo really is the only solution that ensures that your HTTP, HTTPS, and RDP server ports are closed, and that your firewall is not open to inbound internet traffic. So we really are eliminating that need for a VPN. Maybe now we can just kind of turn some things over. Oh, you know what? Actually, one more thing. Sorry. I know that there was a reference to me sharing some different case studies. This is something that I'll include in a package that we send out to you guys with some different links to explore. If you're curious, you'll also see the G2 reviews. You'll see, things like our case studies, but we really are effective across the board in all sorts of different organizations. It's a very sort of horizontal product, but a lot of the use cases I see end up with, there's a lot of education. I feel like that's pretty obvious when you look at an application like this and you start talking about Chromebooks, but it really is an enterprise ready software. We have customers that I think are running anywhere from like 30,000 to 60,000 sessions just for one customer. So the scalability is awesome. Yeah, we talk about flexibility and we talk about cost and things like that, and being a really inexpensive way to deliver these applications. But although it's accessible to SMB, it scales dramatically to the enterprise as well. We see hospitals. One of the use cases that I really like to see is different ISVs that have an on-premises application they're looking to deliver through a browser experience to their customers, and they don't want to spend the time trying to recode and develop that, because that's an expensive and long-term investment to try to turn an application into a SaaS app. And so with Cameyo, they can deliver that experience like almost instantaneously, which is really cool. But here's some different case studies. I'd just invite anybody that's on the call to look at your specific vertical. We'd be happy to set up reference customers for you to talk to see how they did things and what their experience has been. But overall, I think Cameyo is an elegant, awesome solution. So, Philip, I'll maybe turn it back over to you and we can migrate towards a QA.
Sure. Yeah, I think we can open ourselves up for questions if anyone's got them. I don't see any here in the chat right now, so I'm going to throw you a curveball, Eric, and I'm going to ask you about something that you didn't mention that often comes up when we talk about VDI and remote app delivery. That's profiles. I think you guys have a really interesting story about how you've simplified that too, user data and profiles.
Yeah, so what's really cool is we don't actually, you'll notice that you'll get that profile bloat in a typical VDI infrastructure. And we don't necessarily need to push the profiles into every session. Every session starts out fresh. We can offer persistence. So if there are settings that you would typically have that you need to bring into each application so the user has the correct immediate experience that they need, we can do that. But we don't necessarily have to do that with every session. So you really eliminate that profile bloat effect that can cause a lot of latency and a lot of sluggishness in a typical VDI infrastructure.
Yeah, I would say this is part of your secret sauce. This is a big part of that. We have another question here from Adam. How would you compare Cameyo to iGel? What are the main differences or the pros and cons?
So actually, interestingly enough, iGel is a partner of ours, and we love working with iGel. We're excited to work with them on their OS 12, which is going to be coming out soon enough. But yeah, so we integrate with iGel. We think they're a great partner, and it's a great experience because iGel is essentially transparently delivering an operating system that's Linux based. We support Linux, and so we totally integrate effectively with iGel, and we look at them as a really strong partner for us going forward.
And that's another one that's a powerful combination because it's not something where you end up with a Microsoft cost added on to the solution. So it's another avenue for avoiding some of the Microsoft licensing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Sigal asked if you could drop your email in for further questions after the session. And I think Eric plans on sending a follow-up, but I'll let him speak.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'd like to do. So I promise not to bombard those on the call today, but I would like to just put a little packet together with some of the things we discussed, some of the technical details behind what I highlighted at a high level. And that'll open you up to any kind of conversation you want to have with me. We'd be incredibly happy to set up a demo with you guys and have our XenTegra team sort of lead the charge together. That's how we like to work. So yeah, happy to do that. Happy to get you guys into a demo and hopefully a free trial, because I think when you try the solution, you really get hooked on the solution because you can't believe, even after seeing it, how easy it is when you actually do it firsthand. So I'll send that information packet out with just a few helpful links and things, and we can engage through that if that works for everybody.
So Adam's got a follow-on question for you. How does pricing work per user?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a per user license. We are going to factor in, if we're fully hosted, we're going to be thinking about, is this a GPU focused customer with heavy GPU usage, or is it CPU usage? Productivity apps versus, AutoCAD kind of would put you in mid-tier. So there's some factors there that might determine some of that. But yeah, it is just a per user license that we have. And you're not going to circumvent any kind of Microsoft licensing that you might already need for your applications. We will include the RDS CALs in our fully hosted licensing. But, and again, there's also self-service too. So if you don't want any of that stuff to be factored in and you just want the raw Cameyo licenses, you go for self-service and, or self-hosted, excuse me. And we do have minimum licensing at 15 users for fully hosted and 30 users for self-hosted. But I think as you work with the XenTegra team, you're going to find that the pricing is awesome. The support is awesome. Support is always free through Cameyo as well, just so you're aware. Yeah, we'd be happy to get you guys some quotes and learn more about your use case and see if it's a good fit for Cameyo.
Absolutely. I don't see any other questions right now, so I'll do a last call. It's fun. This is a solution I've also seen grow. I don't even think I've shared this with Eric, but I looked at Cameyo. I guess it's been about 2 years ago now at my previous organization, and found it incredibly quick to install and get value. And then I've watched the feature set considerably grow over the last couple of years. So it really is a compelling alternative for delivering your legacy apps. It fits so many of the same use cases that you would think of traditionally for Citrix, all in a browser, no extra software, no extra anything. You can send it to an iPad, a Chromebook, anything. So really, really cool solution. It's not a lot of time to check it out because it is something that's incredibly easy to get your hands around. Eric, I want to say thank you on behalf of everybody here and on behalf of XenTegra.
Well, thank you so much for the spotlight. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate our partnership with you guys. Looking forward to working with these people who've joined the call, see if we're a solid fit together. So thanks, everybody. And thanks.
We appreciate it. So just to remind everybody, we do have that $100 Amazon gift card. Eric and team are going to select one lucky winner from today's attendees, and we will notify you after the fact. We appreciate everybody joining today. One more reminder, work has no boundaries. Try to get in on the Ford Bronco giveaway. You can find all of that information at workhasnoboundaries.com. And last of all, thank you. We appreciate you joining today. We look forward to seeing you next week for the next Partner Spotlight. Have a great afternoon.